Hey everyone, welcome. This is episode 17 of Warikoo Wednesdays. So some of you may have heard of what's called the PayPal Mafia. It's a very interesting, intriguing thing that happened in the Valley. And in brief, what it is that the early members of PayPal, when they went out of PayPal and started up again, it's almost defying the law of averages that plenty of them went on to build some really successful startups. To the extent that 6 or 8 of them have gone on to build billion-dollar plus startups. So LinkedIn came out of this mafia, Yammer came out of this mafia, SpaceX, Tesla came out of this mafia, Yelp came out of this mafia, YouTube came out of it. And this idea of a mafia has really intrigued me and helped me a lot all these years, because I remember when I went to ISB 12 years back, I saw something very peculiar happen in the first 2 to 3 weeks, which was people who were very similar to each other, or so-called similar to each other, started hanging around with each other. So suddenly all the doctors had their own group, and the engineers had their own group, and within the engineers, the IT professionals had their own, and the chemical engineers had their own, and the architects had their own, and people from Delhi had their own group, and so on and so forth. And they were hanging around this community that was apparently very similar to each other. And I see that even today, where when I spend time with the batches of ISB in their early days, it's crazy that in the first 2 to 3 days of their batch starting, there are these WhatsApp groups that have been created, which are all about very specific interests. To the point that IIT Delhi will have a WhatsApp group, but within IIT Delhi, metallurgical engineering will have its own, Jwala Hostel will have its own, South Delhi will have its own, Sarojini Nagar will have its own, Sobo will have its own, Powai will have its own, so on and so forth. And it's kind of tragic, because I feel that the biggest reason why people would want to come to ISB or work in an area or a setup that's this large and this qualified is that you get to hang around with people who are not like you, who challenge you, who are very different from you. Because I remember, with a physics perspective all my life, when I entered ISB, I was able to suddenly see the world from the eyes of a marketer, a fashion designer, an IT professional, a shippy, a finance professional. And I was like, oh my God, was I even living in the same world as theirs? Because it was completely different from mine. And I'm sure they felt the same way when they heard about my world. But the point was, I was amongst people who were not like me. And that changed me, improved me, made a better version of me. But today, with social media particularly, every day we're consuming content that is personalized for us. That's the word they use. It's made for you. It's created, curated, selected so that you respond best to it. But what is it doing? If you are a Modi fan and you love him, you will see all content endorsing him, appraising him, glorifying him to the extent that he flies in air. But if you hate him, you will see all content banishing him, abusing him, criticizing him, and making him the worst person on earth. Is that creating a different version of you, a better version of you? No. Content today is just creating an inflated version of you. It's just endorsing your belief system. It's just saying whatever you believe in is right. And here's more stuff to substantiate that. So when you think about your mafia, when you think about the people that you hang around with, what is the kind of content that is coming into your world? Is that same as yours? Is that the same belief system, the same worldview as yours? Or is that something that challenges you, that defies you, that defines you, that tells you, hey, there's a different way of thinking about the same way. Have you considered it? We are the average of the 5 people we spend most time with. The average of 5 people that we spend most time with. The question is, who are those 5 people in your life? And if the same as yours, if they have exactly the same belief system as yours, if they have the same upbringing as yours, the same experiences as yours, can you imagine how stalled your growth is already? Because you're not going to become a different person, a better person. You're going to remain exactly the way you are. And nothing will challenge you. Nothing will be different from what you come to believe. Nothing will be different from how you operate, how you react. How is it that you build your mafia is a very important question to consider. Because this mafia of yours, this tribe of yours, this community of yours that you hang around with will come to define you in ways that you don't even appreciate. Build your mafia. Until next time, I'll see you around.